Hi, I'm Bart Norman, your teacher in the Fundamentals program. In this movie, I'll take you on a guided tour. If you want to navigate and explore the program yourself, please choose Step Inside on the website. Let's start with the main menu. The illustration shows right away what the essence of the Fundamentals program is. You can train all possible connections between your ears, your eyes, and your fingers. The word eyes represents everything that has to do with sheet music. The fingers represent your instrumental skills. And the role of your ears is pretty obvious because music is all about sound. A complete musician is able to play what he sees, to play what he hears, and to write down what he hears. Sheet music is one of the ways to transfer music and musical knowledge, very similar to normal reading and writing. So the program starts with a thorough explanation of the system of notation in the explanation page of the theory menu. These movies that we use make things crystal clear because the explanation is put into music right away. Let me demonstrate this by showing you a small fragment of the very first movie. After having introduced the basic rhythmic elements, I scroll to the part where these elements are played. 1, 2, 3, 4. In books, that's impossible. That's why I love the movie concept. And you can watch them as many times as you like. This teacher never becomes tired and he never loses his temper. After having studied the movies, you may want to study the PDF with the summaries. If you have any questions remaining, you probably find the answer in the FAQ section. To check if you really understood everything, you can go to the exercise page. Let me click one of these simple PDFs which you can fill in. Then you can check your answer, and if it's necessary, you restudy the movies or the FAQs until you get it. The next item in this menu is the glossary. It not only gives proper definitions of the most important terms, it also tells you where in the program it is explained. Then it's time to put things into practice, so let me take you through the melody and rhythm menu. This menu has trainers that work on the ears, eyes, finger circle I mentioned in the beginning. You can learn to sing what you see, to play what you hear, to write what you hear, and to play what you see. Let's start with the Sing What You See section. There are many books with sight singing exercises available, but the problem is that they rarely explain you how to do it, because books don't play music. A compact movie on the explanation page solves this problem. It explains the system we use in all trainers, with colored notes, letters, numbers, and remarks. This way you'll quickly master the most important strategies for sight singing. This is the Sing What You See trainer. Let me zoom in a bit. There are several categories with different levels of difficulty. If I ask for the very first exercise, I can show you how it works. We see a melody with two sharps ending on a D. If you studied your basic theory, you will agree with me that we can safely assume that this melody is in D major. Let's ask for this D by clicking the Play Tonic button. The next step is to sing the D major scale. La 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 la. There are two ways to check if I'm on the right track. I can click Play Scale. And if I ask to show the scale, we see that we're doing a good job. Let's try. Da 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 da. That's a nasty jump I have to make. If you need some help with that, you can click the Help button. Now we have much more information available. It tells me that the difficult C sharp here is the leading tone, which is the 7th note of the scale that leads to the tonic. It is blue and it has a capital L. Singing the leading tone is much easier than bridging this distance of a quarter. Here is another tough leap, but the red line tells me that I simply have to sing one step higher than this F sharp here. Bum da 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 dum. Bum da 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 dum. Of course, you can check your work by clicking Play Melody. That's this trainer in a nutshell. Sight singing becomes much easier if you understand the functions of the notes, and the colors and codes help you through the exercises step by step. It will help you hearing the sheet music inside. A strong inner ear is good for everything: intonation, accuracy, expression, and much more. Next in the melody and rhythm menu is the Play What You Hear trainer. In this trainer you work on a connection between your ears and your fingers. These have to be coordinated. The first category contains single notes. You are supposed to simply copy each note on your instrument and find the right pitch as soon as possible. Let me click a few times. You hear that several instruments are used and all registers are used too. Finding a note in the middle register of a piano might be easy, but can you also pick up a note from a double bass or a very high flute? The next categories are intervals, so 2 notes are involved. This trains your ability to bridge the many distances on your instrument. I think it speaks for itself, so I move on to the P series, and P stands for phrases. These first phrases use a maximum of 4 different notes. These are tiny little musical lines with lots of variation. For the next example, I assume that you play the alto sax, which is an E-flat instrument. To get the proper transposition in the answer, I have to click this button. In category P2, the fun really begins, because now similar short phrases are played for you with the band. There are many different styles. To show you the variation, I'd like to switch to Start With mode, because I selected a few specific tracks. Here I choose category P2, and from this list of 430 lines, I pick exercise number 19 in the jazz style. Only 4 notes to find, and you have to play them after the tenor sax and time them properly. You get 3 chances. I will show the notes for alto sax at the 3rd time. Only 3 or 4 different notes are involved in this category, but all keys are used. The lines are always quite playable, singable, and transparent. The trainer is not about virtuosity, but it does tell you which keys could use some extra training. And of course, the proper patterns to practice those are also available in the fundamentals. I'll show you that in a minute. It's also great memory training, both for players and singers. Here is a challenging one with one tiny little unexpected adaptation to the harmony. Of course, studying the notation will improve your reading skills as well. You can even reverse this trainer by selecting Notation first. Pause the movie if you want to crack the rhythmic code of this gospel phrase yourself first. In categories P3 and P4, the lines become longer. P3 is without band, P4 is with band. I'll play the melody of 2 of my favorite styles just to show you the huge variety in the 1524 available melodic lines. P5 is a special category which I call vehicles. This section contains a number of essential patterns in all keys. Composers use them in their songs, improvisers can use them to move over harmonic progressions. In a way, they are a means of transport. These are typically the patterns you'll find in the instrument Bibles that are available for all instruments. Let me play just one of them. P6 contains 75 lines on so-called 2-5-1 progressions. These longer lines are an inspiration to improvisers, especially because they involve only one concept. Again, there are 3 chances to get the phrase right. If you need more time, simply click Replay. Now I go back to random mode and focus on the right side of the trainer. You'll find a lot of scales here, all in 12 keys. Any teacher will tell you that you have to know your scales, so this is a thorough and motivating way to master your vocabulary. Let me check all major and minor boxes and see what the trainer comes up with. The final category is about mastering chord symbols. Here you want to put the trainer in notation first mode, because we want to see which chord progressions are used. I think a single example is enough to make clear what you learn in this category. Next is the Write What You Hear trainer. It works similar to the Sing What You See trainer, but it is reversed. You'll now hear the melody first. Trying to notate a melody and its rhythm is equally important for mastering sheet music. There are almost 400 exercises available. A single example will demonstrate the value of this trainer. A final section in the Melody and Rhythm menu are the Play What You See pages. There is enough sheet music for each instrument, so we did not feel the need of adding anything to that, but instead we gave you dozens of tips to deal with existing sheet music. In the 2 movies here on the explanation page, you'll get 20 minutes of video material treating subjects like how to approach syncopations, how to practice a difficult phrase, and which possibilities there are for interpretation, etc. On the exercise page, you'll find some challenging tracks for practicing offbeats, and you can be part of a rhythm section with a couple of exciting African 6/8 patterns. I think it's time to show you the Harmony and Tools menu. In the Harmony trainer, you train to recognize intervals and triads. This trainer is fully customizable. If you are completely new to ear training, you want to start with intervals and put the trainer in melodic mode. The notes of a new exercise are now played separately. If you want to hear them together, you can click this button and you'll hear them harmonically. When I put the trainer back in harmonic mode, this button changes into Play Melodically. With the last button, you can check your answer. Suppose you mix up thirds and sixths all the time, you can focus on thirds and sixths by deselecting the other intervals. The triads part of the trainer works exactly the same, but triads can also be inverted. You can check or uncheck all 3 possibilities: root position, first inversion and second inversion. Here is another cool trainer, the chord memorizer. This is a drill sergeant that helps you learning the tones of the chord symbols by heart, which is important for harmony players and improvisers. Each chord is shown for 2 beats, and then you have to name the chord tones by saying or singing them. The answer is shown for 2 beats as well. C, E, G, B flat, F, A, C, E flat, B flat, D, F, A flat, E flat, G, B flat, D flat, A flat, C, E flat, G flat. If you use this trainer together with the chords category of the Play What You Hear trainer, I'm sure you can master them in less than a month. The final trainer in the Harmony and Tools menu is the intonation trainer, which is for instruments without a fixed pitch. This trainer will make your ear sensitive to proper tuning and playing with a rich centered tone. With the keyboard you can produce a perfectly straight tone. You are supposed to play unison with it or make thirds, which leads to interesting sonic phenomena like combinational tones. Try it yourself because this feature is free in the demo. In the lower half of the intonation trainer, you can play the missing line with 2 or 3 other voices played by the same straight synthesizer. This is another educational feature for opening up your ears. The scale wheel is a surprisingly simple aid for reading out all major and minor scales and finding all intervals. Click the buttons to put the starting notes on the right place. The dark arrows will point at the notes of the scale. So the D major scale consists of a D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Enjoy the Fundamentals program by ordering a DVD in the Virtual Music School store. What you pay for it equals the price of a 1-hour private lesson with a teacher. We are sure you'll enjoy the material for hundreds of hours.